Hi everyone. We yeah, we are back. We're very much back. And this is another week 6 predictions. We're actually already in week 6. Time really does fly, doesn't it? Wow. Okay. Last week, for those who didn't know, I went 8 and 6. 8 and 6 is not very good, especially for where I was at with these picks. Like we were like really on a roll, but an 8 and 6 record, and I get it's like a positive record, but I mean, we were really on a roll, you know what I mean? Like this just isn't going to cut it. But we can bounce back this week. So it all starts with predicting from when I'm recording and from when you guys are gonna get the video, it's gonna be tomorrow. So tomorrow's game, the Broncos at the Chiefs. I have to pick the Chiefs. I mean, this first of all, this Broncos team is a bottom 5 team in the league. They haven't beat the Chiefs in almost a decade, almost 10 years since they have beat the Chiefs, and it's probably going to end up becoming a decade because I don't think Patrick Mahomes is leaving anytime soon. The Chiefs practically own the Broncos right now. It's honestly sad. So I just can't pick them. I really can't pick the Broncos. They're just bad. They have no defense. Russ is okay, like he's fine, but like I just can't pick the Broncos. I really can't. So, Chiefs win, and this game gets a lot more hard. I get it. I really do. Like, oh my god, the Ravens are so good. They are a good, very good football team. Lamar is playing at an MVP level. But there's just something about the Ravens. We saw it against Pittsburgh. We saw it against Indianapolis. They are losing when they are the better team. And it's not like they played a lot worse. They're outplaying opponents and losing. It's a weird thing. And it's just happening with the Ravens this year. And I don't think it's really happening with any other team. Right? Like, they outplayed Indianapolis. Lamar, again. Lamar's been playing at an MVP level for, this entire season, it feels like. And last week against Pittsburgh, they were dominating for like 57 minutes until, and they would have dominated even more if the receivers didn't drop like 3 touchdowns. 3 drop touchdowns, 7 drops total in the game? That's insane. And as for the Titans, they're another team that you just don't know what to do with. These are like 2 really inconsistent teams. 2 teams that have one of the more modern rivalries in the league. Ravens-Titans, like it developed through 2 playoff games and 1 overtime victory of the Titans over the Ravens. Like, this is a real rivalry in the league. And these 2 teams are going to be pretty excited to play each other. As for how this game's going to go, I have no reason to trust either of them. This could go either way. And it's just because both of these teams are so inconsistent. I'm going to pick Baltimore because they are the better team, and this feels like this should be a bounce-back week for them. But I wouldn't be shocked if, despite Lamar playing well once again, the Titans just, snatch this one somehow. But I do think the Ravens are the better team. Next up, Commies at Falcons, and just a few weeks ago, I would have picked the Commies to win this game, but oh my god, it's rough. It's rough in Washington, dog. Can't even make this up. I mean, that Bears game was just so telling of, like, how bad their defense truly is, man. Like, their scheme is not good. It's a soft, bend, don't break zone scheme that, I'm tired of, and I'm going to talk about that when we get to the Eagles game. Well, not as much, though, because the Eagles did play good, but that's besides the point. They do play that style of defense, and the Bears and Justin Fields, I mean, when you let them pick apart your defense, and Desmond Ridder had a good week last week, too, against Houston, I think he might actually pick apart Washington because even though their defensive line is good, I just don't think it'll be enough. And, I think Desmond Ridder might be able to pick them apart just like they did to Houston. It's going to be so rough. I just think that, and besides, Atlanta's defense is going to contain Sam Howell just enough. Even though Sam Howell isn't like a bad quarterback, he's okay. He's okay. And next up, we were talking about the Vikings at Bears. This is a tough game for me to pick because the Vikings right now just seem to have like everything against them, like literally everything. Justin Jefferson is hurt. Like, they were, gonna be, like, good. They were, like, on a nice, like, upwards trajectory, and then Justin Jefferson gets hurt, and it just feels like the season is over, honestly. They should really start trading, like, a bunch of people, trade Kirk Cousins for a few picks. Justin Jefferson, I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like he'd be interested in a rebuild, but at this point, like, this isn't a rebuild. You know what I mean? Like, I think that they should actually just take this opportunity, go all in on a rookie quarterback, and maybe, get him an offensive line with these weapons. The Vikings could be very dangerous in 2024. But with Justin Jefferson out for 4 games, I don't think they'll make the playoffs. As for the Bears, like, they dominated Washington. Justin Fields showed promise. And I know that Washington's a bad defense. I'm just going to say it outright. Washington's a bad defense. I mean, they've been allowing performances like this to, a lot of different teams. Pretty much everyone except the Cardinals. And I mean, like, the Cardinals are not, the standard for offense in the NFL. So I can just confidently say that the Commanders' defense is honestly atrocious. And, like, the Vikings' defense isn't really good either. But Brian Flores is a good defensive coordinator. So, like, what do you want me to say here? This is a tough game. But Kirk Cousins hasn't been traded yet. Jordan Addison is still there. TJ Hawkinson is still there. Like, I think that the Vikings will, at the very least, keep this a close game, as they usually do. And I think it'll be enough to beat Chicago. I'm going to be honest. Because I don't, think the Bears are a good team. I think that Kirk is going to eat that defense alive. And I think that Justin Fields will have another, he'll probably have another good game because this defense is bad. Keep it close against Minnesota, but they're not beating them. I don't see it. And Seattle at Cincinnati, and this game is kind of rough, but I'm very sure about this pick, actually. Because Seattle has been a very good team throughout the first, technically 4 weeks of the season since their bye was last week. So, they're coming off the bye. They've been pretty good, coming off the bye after a great win against the New York Giants. And the New York Giants are the New York Giants, but that's besides the point. While the Bengals, they picked up a really good win against Arizona last week. And again, Arizona isn't the standard for football in the league. They're a competitive team. They'll always put up a fight, but it's not always gonna work out for them. Like, they're not gonna win a lot just because of talent deficiencies. But something that I saw, an update from just a few minutes ago, and this is why I always wait until like the day before Thursday Night Football to make my picks. Like, I don't start these like on Tuesday. No, Wednesday, because just a few minutes ago, I just saw something that said Joe Burrow's calf is nearing 100%. I have to pick Cincinnati. I mean, if Joe Burrow's injury was, I would say it's obvious that the injury was, hindering his performance. Without that, I'm just saying, I think that the Bengals are gonna, they're gonna play really well offensively against Seattle. And I think that, The Seattle and the Bengals defense is also like really, it's been playing well. I think that they'll do enough. They'll contain Seattle and they'll add another win to the column. 49ers at Browns, and look, I mean, it's the 49ers. I don't even have to explain it at this point. Like, they're the best team in the league, pretty clearly. Even as an Eagles fan, even though I might be biased, no, they're the best team in the league. You don't mess with the 49ers. I'm just going to move on. I don't even have to explain this one. Panthers at Dolphins. This is another one that there's like no explanation. The Dolphins are like a top 3 team, and the Panthers are practically the worst team in the league. There's just no explaining this one. Like Colts at Jags, and now this is actually an interesting game, so I actually will have to talk here. These are two teams that are like, they're both pretty interesting, This, like, the Jags were kind of like more of like this inconsistent, kind of team, right? But they've been shaping up well over the past 2 weeks. They beat Atlanta. They beat the Bills. And, there might be a few excuses with Buffalo. Oh, they're injured to hell. Oh, the jet lag. Now as for Atlanta, they were probably both dealing with jet lag and whatever, but that's besides the point. I think Jacksonville's just a good team, and I think that the Colts are in a weird spot right now because, Anthony Richardson has just been playing so good, but he can't stay healthy, and he's not going to be there for this game, so it's just going to be Gardner Minshew again. And I just don't think Gardner Minshew is just going to, I can't see the Colts equaling the offensive output of the Jaguars, and to me that's just going to be the difference in this game. Now, what are we doing here? What are we doing here with Saints Texans? I'm sorry. I see this 71-29, and I'm just going to say this is probably upset of the week. It shouldn't even be considered an upset. Jesus, Houston still gets this much disrespect? Okay, sure. They lost to Atlanta. Desmond Ridder did carve them up. But dude, you cannot be serious with these percentages. Seriously? Houston blew out the 3-2 Steelers 2 weeks ago. I would say the Saints are honestly like a pretty similar team, except their defense is worse and their offense is like barely better. But Derek Carr hasn't been playing good this season. And okay, they did just beat the Patriots 34-0. And that's a pretty big thing, and I do have to admit that. But that game didn't really change my opinion on the Saints. Because the Patriots really just are that bad. But as for the Saints, I think they're still the same team, They're a team with an offense that's inconsistent at best. Derek Carr hasn't been playing well. The defense it's been pretty good. But CJ Stroud has been playing incredible. And I think CJ Stroud might pick this defense apart. And again, the Saints just don't have the offensive capacity. Even Atlanta, they have some weapons, but the Saints offense is just so inconsistent. And again, I say at best because they might just be a bad offense. They have a lot of questions on that side of the ball. They don't have a really good run game. Even though Kamara's back, it's just And then Derek Carr hasn't been playing well. They do have Olave, they have Michael Thomas, but I don't know. I don't like that offense. So I'm just going to pick Houston. Upset of the week, I guess. I don't know. That's all you can say. The Patriots at the Raiders. So for this one, this is just the Raiders game. I just don't see them losing because, damn, the Raiders might actually get to 500. I mean, the thing about the Patriots is that they're just a mess. They're just a complete and total mess right now. And again, the Raiders aren't good either, but the Patriots are bad, dog. They're really, really bad. Like, this is not a good football team. This is just, I mean, the offense is just completely done. There's nothing, okay? They have no pass protection. Mac Jones is basically behind one of the worst offensive lines in the league. They have receivers that can't get open, and Mac Jones himself is playing like trash. So they just don't have an offense, like a functioning offense. And again, the Patriots running backs, Ramondre and Zeke, they're just completely underperforming. But, hey, at least their defense should be a positive, right? It was going to be really good coming into the season. It was really good in the first 2 weeks. No, their defense cannot be good because now it's injured to hell and back because Matt Judon and Christian Gonzalez probably may even be the two best defensive players on the team right now. Even though Christian Gonzalez is only a rookie, he played well. And the Patriots just have no cornerbacks. They just had to sign J.C. Jackson to trade for J.C. Jackson a few weeks ago. The defense is horrible now because they're just injured. And we just see, this doesn't feel like a Bill Belichick coach team anymore. They just coming off the two worst losses of Bill Belichick's career. I think it might be over for him. I really do. As hard as that might be to say, and he's definitely going in the Hall of Fame after the season, dude, he might be done. He really might be done. I don't know if I'm going to miss him, but he really might be done. Lions at Bucks. Don't get me wrong, the Bucks are like a good team and all, but the Lions are just something else, man. The Lions really are something else. The Lions secondary is whatever. So the Bucks receivers might be able to get pretty open, but other than that, Aiden Hutchinson's gonna have probably a really good day. And the Detroit offense is just gonna eat this defense alive. And I get it, Bucks defense is pretty good, and I do think the Bucks are gonna win the NFC South. But this game probably won't even be a contest. Detroit is just playing with just something that you just can't sense. They just have something. They have that culture. They're just so banded together, and they're a really really good team. I just, the trajectory that Detroit is on, they're going to become one of the probably 4 real NFC contender teams. And that's the 49ers, Philly, Dallas, and Detroit is trying to make a name for themselves in the NFC. And with a few more wins under their belt, this team, for the first time in about what feels like a million years, Detroit might be considered an actual Super Bowl contender. And that has got to be so exciting for every Lions fan in the world. Anyone in Detroit, Michigan, really. And then Cardinals, Rams. Okay, so the Rams should win. And this is going to be a decently close game because the Cardinals make a lot of their games, and especially against opponents like the Rams, very close. Because I don't think the Rams really have much of a defense besides Aaron Donald. So I think Josh Dobbs, Hollywood, James Conner, they're all going to have good days. I really do think that. And, but again, this Cardinals defense, this could really turn into an offensive shootout because Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Tutu Atwell is even playing well, sort of. So, I don't know. I really am excited for this game, but I think the Rams are going to win because, again, they just have they obviously have the better quarterback. You love Josh Dobbs and what he's doing. He might be able to get a nice, solid backup job after this season, but A starting quarterback, like, I don't know. He's not really. I don't think he's solidified himself as like an actual starting quarterback for a team. Like, when Kyler comes back, this Cardinals team is going to be dangerous, like really dangerous. But I don't know if they're going to get enough wins to, eventually compete for the playoffs when Kyler comes back. Eagles at Jets. This is a little tough. No, it's not really. The Eagles are probably going to win this game. But there's a few things that I'd like to consider when I think about this game. So, first of all, so what I think is going to happen, because the thing is, Zach Wilson had 2 good games, sure. Well, not really good against the Broncos, but because he kind of got carried by Breece Hall, but, 2 okay games, right? Like, the offense isn't literally anemic like they used to be. So, could that be an effect? I don't really think so. I think the Eagles are probably going to have the Jets, scoring less than 20 points, because I think that our biggest weakness as a defense is probably the passing defense, just because I don't like the scheme that Sean Desai has. And even then, the Eagles have one of the best run defenses in the league. Running backs have not been able to get anything done against Philly this entire year. So I have my doubts on the Jets scoring a lot of points, because I still don't believe in Zach Wilson. I don't believe that he's a good quarterback. And if he gets put under pressure, because this Eagles D-line versus the Jets O-line, and the Jets lost Elijah Vera Tucker for the season, I don't think the Jets are going to score a lot of points. And even though the Eagles offense has been kind of, up and down-ish, I think the Eagles offense, I think it can score more than 20 points with, all the weapons that it has, everything they have. This game is probably going to be close-ish or something, but I'm going to have the Eagles winning, pretty safely. I'm not too concerned. Giants at Bills, and oh my, this is going to be another bloodbath that I don't even have to explain. I mean, I love, the Bills are the Bills. We all know this. I don't have to explain much about Buffalo, but I am just going to rag on the Giants right now. I'm just going to have a whole rant. So beautiful. Oh, I just want to rag on this team. I just want to laugh at the Giants. So this is what I'm going to take this opportunity to do. The New York Giants, oh my God. They talked so much all off season. Look at where they are now. I mean, they clearly have the worst offensive line in football. Is that crazy to say? No, they can't block anyone. They literally can't block anyone. Daniel Jones, their $160 million quarterback, is playing like trash. Saquon Barkley, has he been on the field? I don't know. Did he come back? Because I know he got injured for a second, but I think he might be back now. But even then, that's not going to change anything, because this offensive line can't block anybody for anything, right? So, I mean, what else? Their defense has a lot of holes. Isaiah Simmons, people were saying, oh, that's such a great trade. No, he's been awful. The defense hasn't been great. And, I mean, against Josh Allen, against Stephon Diggs, against Gabe Davis, even though Gabe Davis isn't that, I don't care. I really don't care. They're going to get absolutely smacked. They're just going to get smacked. There's nothing you can do about it. Cowboys at Chargers, and look, this is probably just going to be game of the week. Chargers coming off a bye. They've been picking their season up ever since the 0-2 start. And Dallas just suffered an absolute barn burner against the 49ers. I mean, it was a modern tragedy that I was so happy to watch. Yeah, I get it, the 49ers are the Eagles' rivals right now, but I mean, come on. There's nothing better than watching the Cowboys lose by 32 points, unless they lose by more. But, Dak threw 3 interceptions. Cowboys fans talked, oh, we're going to get our revenge against the 49ers. No. It was an absolute bloodbath. It was beautiful to watch. It was so amazing. I was so happy with the result of that game. So, and the thing is, that game pretty much proved that the Cowboys just aren't ready. They're like, and by they aren't ready, like, yeah, they're gonna make the playoffs. We all know this. Like, they're probably gonna make it as like I would say the 5 seed, because the idea of them winning the division against Philly, like, right now is highly in doubt, at least to me. And then, like, you know, yeah, they're probably, I don't think they're winning the division this year. And the thing is, what they're not ready for, they're just not ready for a deep playoff run. And by deep, I don't mean getting to the divisional round, because that's not deep enough for Dallas. Their ambition every single year, until they're either clearly rebuilding or, I don't know, until they actually finally make it, their ambition every year until they're finally, like, in a full-on rebuild should be making the NFC Championship. It's just that simple. And that's the kind of deep playoff run that I don't think the Cowboys are ready for. And they just proved that last week. In a big game, prime time, all the eyes on them, to make a statement win against the powerhouse team. And I mean, all credit to San Francisco. They are a powerhouse. And we all knew it was going to be very difficult for Dallas to go in and beat San Francisco. But, like, getting beat 42-10 in a game like that against a rival that's had your number, you could have made a statement. They got destroyed. And again, for this game against the Chargers, I don't see the Chargers as a real team either. I mean, they have Brandon Staley at head coach. And this Dallas Cowboys defense, I mean, it's still, like, again, the team is still really good. Despite the fact that you're just not ready to make a deep playoff run. They just aren't. They're probably going to stack up a nice win streak. Cowboys fans are probably going to get excited. They're probably just going to say, oh, the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. Don't believe it. They're not ready. They're not ready for that type of run. But I'm going to have the Cowboys winning. Okay? This is going to be a spectacle to watch. I think I get that the Cowboys defense is really, really, really good, but so is Justin Herbert. And, they're going to keep the team in the game for as long as possible until Brandon Staley chokes it. And I think that's probably what's going to happen. I'm going to have the Cowboys winning by a field goal, I think 34-31. 65 points, that would be. And that is about it. My last, I just think that the Dallas Cowboys are going to, this is going to be a game where they edge out the Chargers. Cowboys fans are going to be, all over the Super Bowl hype again, because the Cowboys are a good team. They really are. They have a great defense. Probably, top 2 in the league. Second to the 49ers, of course. And they, actually top 3 because the Browns do exist. But I don't know. The Cowboys are just a really, really good team. Dak is a good quarterback. CeeDee's a very, very, very great receiver. And they just have such a good team, but I don't know. There's just something missing from the team. Is it Mike McCarthy? Is it Dak? I don't know. There's just something. You can tell this team is just not built for the Super Bowl. Right? But they are built to win games. And they're going to win a lot of regular season games. So, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. I don't know. Like and subscribe. Check out the Twitter. Bye.